Hello and welcome back. If you've not been following this series, you are most welcome. The kits that I am using are available from our website. Please, if you like this video, click like and do the subscribing bit. Anyway, back down to business. So we're in Lamentations 3:22, and just to describe what I'm doing before we read the reading, I've just got a credit card, or it's a store card. In your kit there is one provided with the washi tape around it's green, so all I'm doing is I'm putting various colours that to me represent a glorious morning sky. You get those pretty morning skies, and I'm just scraping them very thinly across the page using the credit card scraper. So Lamentations 3:22-24, and it's in the New Living Translation. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance, therefore I will hope in him. So I'm just drying the acrylic paint. When you dry an acrylic paint with a heat tool, don't get too close and don't get it too hot because it may bubble. So I'm using a little bit of washi tape to stick the large sun stencil down, and I'm going to use a cosmetic sponge. You can get those really quite cheaply, pound shop, Superdrug, places like that. And I'm actually pouncing. So if you watch the movement that I use, I'm pouncing on top. I'm not dragging it because otherwise the paint gets under your stencil. I'm just pouncing up and down. And I've got just a piece of scrap plastic packaging is what I'm using for my palette. You could use a paper plate, you could actually use proper palette, but this means that I'm using the packaging twice. It's that really thin stuff that you get when you have a card or something like that. It means that I can just chuck it away. I'm going to wash it. I've got a little pot of water, because as you finish using your sponges, if you drop them into water, then you can clean them later, but if you let the acrylic dry on them, you can't use them again. And every now and again I just put a load of them in the washing machine. So I keep drying. Notice I have dried it before I've removed the stencil. Just be careful that with the washi tape you're using, that you don't get the washi tape with the heat tool, because it does horrible things with the adhesive on the heat tool. And I've just lifted it up, and I've got the beginnings of my sun, and I'm drying it off again. And I'm going to use one of the bird stencils, it's like the silhouette stencils, and again I decided I'm going to use a couple of them. And often when people do silhouettes, they use black, but I didn't want it to be as harsh as that, so I've got a really, really deep blue. This paint is dead cheap. I think this one was from B&M Bargains, or it might have been from Home Bargains, one of the two. Not very much, a couple of pounds a tube, and it'll last forever, last ages and ages. Put another one of my swallow stencils, bird stencils on there. So let's just think about the reading. The reading is a real cause for hope, isn't it? No matter how rubbish we feel, how rubbish the day's been, with each new day we get a fresh start with God. No matter how much we've messed up, as long as we are sorry and we say sorry, then we can start afresh. He gives us that freshness every single day. So I'm just drying it off, and I'm just sketching some lines, some little very light guidelines to write within. So it means that all my letters will be roughly the same height, and I can shape them into a shape. And I'm just checking that I'm getting the right words, and not my version of the reading. So I'm just checking I've got the right words there. And you might have noticed that I'm working in the devotional book. I'm just using a Sharpie now. It's a purple Sharpie. It's dark purple. It's actually a cheaper Sharpie. It's one of the ones you can get from the cheap shops. I think that's from Aldi when they've got them in stock. So I'm using purple again for the same reason that I've used dark blue, because it's not as stark. And I'm just popping my sponges into the water so that while I'm finishing this off, it's not going, they're not going hard on me. And in my hand, I've got a black pen, and I'm just going around the edge of each letter with a very, very fine black pen now, just to sharpen the edge up a bit. And as you can see, it's not fancy writing, it's just my handwriting. And then I just filled in the little bits that I'd missed with when I outlined it, where I'd left spaces with the purple then. And then what I've got in my hand now is a gold Posca pen, so it's an acrylic marker. So it's a marker pen that's got acrylic paint in it basically. And this one happens to be gold, and I'm just going, you might not be able to see on the video, but just around the outline of the words I've put gold, and then I'm just filling back in again, just going over a bit more with purple. And then this is another Posca pen, it's a white one, and I've gone around the birds and around the words. You can get cheaper ones, it just happens I have Posca ones. So I'm just putting the reading and the date I did it, and that was, I've been working in my devotional guide. So this is the same reading, but I'm doing it now in my Bible. So if you've got a journaling Bible, you can use your journaling Bible for this. And instead of using the big sun, I've used the small sun. And again, I've put a piece of paper underneath my Bible page, and I've taped down stencil with a piece of washi tape, and that means that that I'm not going to try and hold the stencil while I'm working. I'm just drying it off, and I'm just auditioning the stickers, because I wanted to use some stickers but I wasn't sure where I wanted to use them and which one I wanted to use, and I finally settled on the finch, the bullfinch. And just grabbed some of my watercolours. You've seen these before, these are the cheap ones, and some water. These are my cheap ones and my Artist Loft ones. And I've got in one hand that, I've got a baby wipe, and in the other hand I've got my brush, and all I'm doing is putting a very thin layer of blue on, and I'm just spreading it around with a baby wipe. So not difficult, not rocket science, to give myself a real coating of blue. And then I've got a darker blue, because I didn't think it was dark enough. I'm going over the side again. I'm blending it with the baby wipe. I didn't want an even finish, I just wanted a skylight finish. I'm just going around the acrylic sun. So the sun's painted in acrylic, so the watercolour will just come off it with the baby wipe. Just drying it off front and back there. And I've decided that I definitely thought it was too light, and I was going to go for it with a really bold colour this time. But I'm going to use my baby wipe to blend it into the page, and then drying it off again with my heat tool. If you haven't got a heat tool, use a hairdryer. As I said before, I used to use a hairdryer, but I got fed up again, paint all over my hairdryer. Now, because I want to write on the page, I've just used my iron, and yes, it is the one that I do my ironing with, on the front and back. Now just be careful if you're ironing where there's acrylic, don't dwell on the acrylic or it'll bubble up. So that's my white Posca pen, my white acrylic paint pen. I'm just adding a little bit of white around the sun to make it look like it's kind of glistening and shining. And I've decided I want to add a little bit of yellow using the paintbrush with the yellow acrylic. And because it's acrylic on top of watercolour, the yellow will show out, will show up. And I put a little bit of yellow in the centre there, and went over with a little bit of orange as well, just to give it a bit more oomph. And then I'm going to stick my sticker on. And then I'm just going to grab a artist black pen, and I'm going to write the reading with the artist black pen in a minute. That's a little bit of washi tape. The washi tape's got housetops, rooftops on, and birds on the rooftops. So I just thought I'd finish it off with that at the bottom. You may have that washi tape in your kit, you may not. It's assorted, but you can put anything down the bottom there really. And I'm now looking for the reading on the opposite page, and I'm going to square around the reading. And now I am going to write the words in the margin with my artist pen. I think it's a 0.8 and it's a uni pen. And then as I come to write the word morning, I've written it round the sticker and put some dots after it. So, job's a good one, job's done. Hope you enjoyed this lesson.